everybody, welcome to the Shire. Another beautiful day in Ohio, another beautiful fall day. We're glad that you're joining us on this. Just a great day to be in the woods. So today's video, I'm doing a little bit out of order, like I've done a couple other ones. Actually, we're already done with our project today, which is the bathroom floor. But I wanted to do a little bit of an intro and another little item here. So today's project, we're doing the bathroom floor, and it's one of those projects that Bets and I call a game changer project. It doesn't sound all that exciting. I mean, you know, hey, oh, you're doing a bathroom floor. Wow, isn't that fun? But the reality is when you're done, it's a game changer because it really looks a lot more intentional, a lot more finished when you go from just subfloor or plywood to a finished floor. It looks great, and I hope you really enjoy it. That's coming up after this. But, you know, we're at episode 10 or 11 now. I'm going to have to look and see when I post this, which it is. I think this is 11. But at any rate, episode 11, and I feel like I'm a little remiss in doing some belated introductions. And I'm going to be quick about this, but, you know, I haven't really said too much about myself or our family, except to say that I'm the luckiest guy around, and I really mean that. So myself, I'm retired, and happily so. I worked for the Federal Aviation Administration as in air traffic control for 30 plus years and did some consulting afterwards. So great career, wonderful bunch of people I worked with, and it allowed me to see and do a lot of things, which was pretty cool. And in addition to that, before I became a controller, I was a pilot. I had learned how to fly at Kent State when I was a bit younger, and then the Reagan administration fired all the controllers, and after the fact, a few years past that, I had an opportunity to take the test and did well enough to get accepted, and then the rest was history with that. In addition, after I retired, I got to go and get my Master Mariner's license, which allowed me to do commercial fishing or commercial boating on the Great Lakes. And so with that, I worked for a few seasons for the Lorraine Port Authority in their tour boat and their tour boat and their ferry boat operation. It was a ton of fun. I enjoyed a lot of it, but my accident in 19 and COVID kind of stopped that, and that's okay. You know, time to move on to other things. I've got plenty of projects down here to work on. But other people that you've met in the videos. So my beautiful wife, Betsy, I haven't really said too much of an introduction. So we've been married 37 wonderful years, really top notch. I tell people we were babies when we got married. But we've been married 37 years, have 3 wonderful children. Now Betsy is a professor of sociology at Baldwin Wallace University in Berea, Ohio, and that's where we live full time. And so she is just not a pretty face. She's got all this talent down here in the woods. She's a master with a chainsaw, a master with a pneumatic nailer, and she's a brilliant sociologist. So that's really pretty cool. Our 3 boys, our oldest is Aaron. He's the one you saw with the coffee company. And he's an air traffic controller, kind of what I did. He's out in Oakland, California, and he's been doing that for a number of years. Our middle son, Adam, who you met with when we were climbing, we don't look like we actually go together. He's 6'2", and I'm more hobbit size. But anyways, so Adam is works for Goodwill of Silicon Valley as a veterans outreach advocate, and is transitioning into a business development position where he goes into the community and secures support for the programs that Goodwill does. And Goodwill out there in Silicon Valley is an enormous operation. So he does that. And then our youngest, Drew, is a high school history teacher, and he got 2 degrees at Baldwin Wallace, a degree in theater and a degree in history, and he parlayed that into being, of all things, a high school history teacher and also a cross-country coach. So he is out there doing very well too. They're all living their best life out there, and Betsy and I could not be more proud of the men that they are. they're not just good human beings, they're outstanding human beings that I would really hope that you have people like that in your life, because I'm immensely proud of everything about them. And then additionally, we met Lisa. She was the hummingbird whisperer. That's Betsy's sister, and she is a really talented artist. She has a crafting and framing business, and I'm not talking just about stuff you hang on your wall. I'm talking like museum, archival quality framing, and also crafting. So they do that process in North Carolina, her and her husband Jeff, and just amazingly talented, and an eye for style that is really unparalleled. But so at any rate, I wanted to just tell you a little bit about all of us. Like I said, the three boys live out in San Jose, way too far away, but we're lucky we get to see them quite frequently, and they get to come back here and spend some time at the Shire quite frequently. But that's another reason why we do this, so that we have a place where we can all get together and enjoy the things we do, because, you know, while we all have very diverse interests, one of the things that's a commonality is we all appreciate nature and we all love being in the woods. So it's a great time. Now, you'll meet a lot of other people on these videos, I'm sure, as we go along. I'll introduce you to them as we go too, and give you some more information there. But that's probably enough for right now. So we're going to get to working on the bathroom floor. I hope you enjoy the video. At the end of the day, if you like it, please tell your friends about it, subscribe, or as the boys say, smash that like button. And you know what? We're going to get some work done. May your day be filled with shenanigans. Have a great day. We'll see you in just a minute. Bye now. Hey everybody, we're back. So today is flooring day in the bathroom. As I had said in the intro there, we wanted to show you a little bit about the product we're using. So this is the floor we used in the rest of the cabin, in there in the main body, and we had enough left over. We were smart enough to buy enough extra so that we can do the bathroom. So this product, where did we get this, Bets? We had this from Sam's Club? Or is this?
I think Costco.
I think this was Costco, yeah. But anyways, so the product is, I don't know if the name of it is Golden Arowana or that's the color, but the product is, it's a manufactured flooring. It's not exactly waterproof like some of the other ones are, but it's water resistant, and you can see it's got a little bit of thickness to it, and it's got a pad. So underneath that, we have some underlayment that'll go on there that just acts like a vapor barrier. And this I got from the orange box store I got from Home Depot. It's called Belated, and this will do the job of creating the vapor barrier under your floor, because the floor is elevated, and so there is a possibility of moisture. So hey Bets, would you mind, let's go in and we'll show the spot, and then we'll get to work. So excuse the construction site here, but that's what we do. So anyway, so the room here, we're pretty fortunate. It's almost a square. It's 89, and we lucked out because it actually ended up square, 89 by 95. So we're gonna run the flooring this way. We're gonna staple the underlayment down with the air stapler. Then we're gonna run the flooring this way, and we'll show you some of that process. It should go quite quickly. So we're gonna get to work. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody, we're back. We got Bets doing a little bit of the underlayment work. Hello, Betser.
Hello.
You're looking lovely today.
Thank you.
And so what this underlayment is some pretty cool stuff. It's just a barrier of plastic, and it's got like a texture. It's almost like a really super thin bubble wrap almost, and it's pretty slick. So we just lay that out and lay it up against all the walls, and then just go to town and just snap, and just we just you know, nail it down, and then just overlap the edges a little bit. So really, it's only going to take maybe 3 runs to get the whole thing done. You know, to cover the whole thing, and then just secure it with just a few staples. They say as few staples as possible, because that compromises the vapor barrier, which I think is kind of overly dramatic, but nevertheless. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lay it out. We'll show you the finished one here in a minute as we start to lay down the thing. So Bets is going to start stapling. We'll let her grab her. She's the master of the stapler, and she'll start and fire those in with the pneumatic stapler. So we'll let her get a couple of those in, and then we'll help by rolling some more stuff out. She's very precise. Looks good, Betzer.
Thank you.
Pretty simple and pretty good product.
It's basically like stapling a handy wipe to a floor.
Yeah, like Beth, if you didn't hear that, it's like stapling a handy wipe to the floor, Beth says. All right, sounds good. We'll be back in a minute. Bye. Okay, so now we've got all of the underlayment stapled down. Thank you, Bets. In place. Now we're going to start with our first course of boards. So right there is our first board, and as Bets is going to show you, they're real easy to put together. You need a wooden block and a rubber mallet to just make the seams go together, and you just tap them into place and it interlocks, and it's quite the product. So but what we have right there, Bets is showing you, is we've got spacers, and you need to do that because the floor is in fact floating. And the floating, because it's floating, it needs to be able to expand and contract. And then what you do at the end of that is we'll capture that by having trim go over top of it. So in a way, the floor is able to move laterally, but it can't move up and down because your trim is holding it down around the perimeter. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lay a few of these boards out, and we'll show you how the progress is going. So we'll be back in just a minute. Okay? Yep. So you know how we tell you every time that this channel is about shenanigans? Well, it turns out that first product box we were showing you for the laminate flooring was the wrong box. That's the stuff we used in the little house, and it's real thin, and it's a little bit hard to work with because it is so thin. So this is actually the stuff. Can we see the box here? This is actually the stuff that we're using. It's premium laminate flooring for, what's the name of the company there? Do we know? Select Surfaces, maybe? I'm sure that's not the actual name of the company, but that's the product we're using, and that's the board that I showed you. So hopefully that's not going to be too confusing, but that's what we're going to start to work with now. So again,
this stuff was from Sam's Club.
And this was from Sam's Club.
Yeah,
so that's,
the other was Costco.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, here we go. Okay, another quick update. Bets is going through the individual boxes and picking out so that the pattern is a little bit more varied, because otherwise one box to the next you could end up with a pattern that kind of looks a little wonky, and the colors are just slightly different, so it's not perfect, but you can kind of see the progress. Believe it or not, that's only been about 15 minutes, and you really start to fly once you get the lengths you need, and you start to figure out, as long as your room is basically a standard shape, you know, it really works out quite quickly. And so now what we're doing is, the one thing that I got to say about right now, remember to alternate your seams, because otherwise you end up with a weak spot in the floor, and that has a chance of moving around, especially in a cabin where, you know, one day in the summer it's going to be 100 and one day in the winter it's going to be 0. So you have to kind of account for that, which the flooring manufacturers don't. Trust me when I say that. But if you account for it and you just vary your seams and you do the best you can, it's not going to be like you necessarily want to put it in your foyer at home, but it's pretty darn solid. Would you agree, Bets?
Yes.
It looks really good so far. Okay, we'll be back and show you when we're all done. Okay, so believe it or not, that was how long did that take us? A little bit an hour?
About an hour.
A little more than an hour. So once you get these cuts done, it is amazing. Look how nice it looks. Those over there are just our little spacers, but awesome work, my dear. It's great. Now, here's the crazy part. Here's the really crazy part. We are so good. How many boards do we have left?
One.
We have one board left.
There was no room for...
There was no room for a miscut. we have exactly one board left.
Totally
And as you
by
can
accident.
see, it is completed all the way around and one
really
board left. Alrighty, so I'm gonna swap. Okay, so what we have to do next is, you know, the thing you would do is you kind of need to let the floor kind of sit here for just a little bit, because it'll kind of find its own level, and then you can tap it into places where it wants to kind of raise up a little bit, and then of course your perimeter trim then will adhere it, will make it sit down, and then it won't really move. The movement is imperceptible, but in the heating and cooling, the problem is it'll start to heave, and you'll end up where the middle boards will start to do this, and that's a problem. Anyways, hey, good work. That was a great little bit of the project, and on to the next. See you in a minute. Bye.